Hi guys, and welcome to episode 28, Friendlyjordies podcast, the Twisted Edition. I'm here.
The Twisted Edition.
We're here in Alice Springs at the moment. I'm here with Tom.
Hey guys.
And Jordan.
Feeling rested. Hello, Robbie.
We against Jordan's wishes again. This one follows a guided meditation, which is funny because Jordan hated episode 27 because it was way too relaxed.
He's the most vocal in demanding that we continue to meditate at the beginning of these pods to get us in the mood for fun, shenanigans, and outrageous laughs. Let's chill out first.
Late night smooth FM.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we should start off just by asking you, what did you think of that? It was short.
That's, like as soon as you said that, it was really, I know what it's like to go from the progression of an adolescent Native American Indian to a man Native American Indian, because as soon as you said that, my brain was empty like the Navajo valleys with gentle winds breezing through it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice kind of like... I liked the little nuggets of wisdom throughout that. So.
Thanks. I've never actually done that before, so that was the first thing. Anyway, you guys were... So yeah, we should probably... that you can hear that on SoundCloud if you'd like, as well as Tom's and Jordan's. But anyway, so we're here in Alice Springs right now.
Yeah.
Feeling relaxed. And how are you guys finding it so far?
Yeah, well, this is the Twist edition because the twist is, guys, we are not doing one episode in our ULURU trip. We're doing two. So there you go. We'd be back, but we're not. We're in Alice Springs. We're continuing the trip. We love it so much. We're going to do it twice.
The twist kept changing as well. We were supposed to do 2 episodes for Isuzu at ULURU. Then we just realised... it's just really just a rock here, isn't there?
Yeah, why don't we just go somewhere else?
See a lot of other things. And then we went to somewhere that's a lot more interesting than a rock, Alice Springs, as it has a lot of shabby buildings and one gleaming KFC. That is their Centrepoint Tower.
Yeah, the KFC's in the centre of the tower. The GPS says you've reached your destination when you're pulling into the Colonel.
He winking at you going, I bet you're pretty hungry after that drive, fellas. And we weren't, because we stopped over for a burger, but we had KFC anyway. Tom's had 2 lunches. Robbie scavenged like a seagull. I've been eating nothing but fruit and nuts on a spiritual journey, but I just can't say no to the Colonel.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that later.
Yeah.
But first up, we thought the first segment would be great to do a... what would you do if scenario? Because we've been driving so much along the Stewart Highway, and one of our car friends, Mason, has been speaking at length about how dangerous the Stewart Highway is because of all the people that have been going missing and all the people that have been murdered over the years. And
he loves those macabre stories.
I love them too. I think they're awesome.
Good.
They're great. We've all got a morbid interest in them, but when you've been alive as long as Mason has, well into his 30s...
I think he's actually just 30, but anyway.
Yeah. I think he's 29 as well. Yeah. He has the wisdom of somebody who's 33. And he, much like the rest of us, will get to a stage where we've got a lot of period where we've seen everything, we've tasted everything, we've done everything. Except to go to ULURU, which he's had to kick off his bucket list, and now he can die a happy man. Apart from that, he's done it all. Yeah. And when that point hits, that's when you go, you know what, I'm going to start watching the CI channel a lot, narrated predominantly by Ray Martin, I think, and learn about all the horrific things that have happened over time, because I think I'm old enough to do it, and he really is, because while the rest of us feel emotionally distraught listening to those stories, he's still got his chirpy face on of like, hey, but you know what, that's life, and I've seen ULURU, so like, bring it on.
So they all
it's a new experience, finally.
But what makes the cherry on the cake for me is that I just know how... I know Robbie very well, and I know that Robbie gets very nervous just driving on this highway, let alone hearing stories of people being murdered on it.
Because he even gets nervous when there's no soap to wash his hands after doing a shit, which he did just recently. He's going on a date soon as well. We'll be talking about that later. But I suppose it's a good thing to know that he's that hygienic.
So we thought we'd do a bit of an exercise where we can just get Robbie's mind alert and kind of know what he would do if he was close to murdered on the Stewart Highway. So, Robbie, We're going to be playing a little game here where Jordan and I are going to be you're driving by yourself along the Stewart Highway, which is in the middle of nowhere for people who don't know.
Good at it. Good miming, Robbie. So that is what a wheel looks like, according to Play School and amateur miming acts who think that they're somehow going to turn into a world famous thing like Whose Line Is Anyway at university. You've clearly done a bit of that.
Who's got their fools, baby?
True, fair point.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, I do not have my fools. I got my P's the other day and I said that I didn't even fail this time. No props.
All right, so Robbie, you're driving by yourself. It's the middle of the night.
This would never happen, by the way. I'm never driving on that highway by myself anyway.
But you have to.
Because in this instance, it's such a dangerous highway. The 4 people that you're with, including Tom and I, your best friends, have already been sniped out. You're by yourself in a car full of 4 dead people and you don't have the heart and the soap with you to push them out.
But you're not scared. You're still just driving along as you would. And then all of a sudden...
For some reason...
There's someone's flashing. There's a car behind you and you're getting flashed. They're saying, pull over. They're indicating to the left. You're in the middle of nowhere. There's no other cars around.
He's darting his eyes left to right very nervously, which he has a lot of practice from because that's pretty much what he's been doing since birth.
I don't know. I think my car's functional. I'm going to keep going, I think.
He's tooting his horn. He's tooting.
I don't know. I don't like the look of him. I'm just going to keep going a little bit.
It looks like something's wrong. He needs you to pull
Does he
over.
need my help?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
What does he look like?
Oh,
you can't see.
Very, yeah, okay, you can't see.
It's the middle of the night. Lights are on. He's indicating. He's tooting. Something's wrong.
All right. In reality, I'd speed
you
up.
Also see good policy for a professional coward such as Bobby. There's also...
I'm flooring it right now, but in this hypothetical,
you're slowing down because you see a hook, and much like a horror story, you think, "Oh my god!" and then it appears, and then he's actually got a coat hanger, and he's putting up his business suit because he's that much of a law-abiding citizen, apparently.
Okay, so he's got a suit.
He seems pretty nice to you, but then you realise there's 2 people, Jordan and me, and we're driving the car behind you. We get out of the car. You've pulled over. You're winding your window down.
Why did I pull over again? I don't understand why I pulled over.
Because you're trusting us, because we have a law-abiding citizen.
Right,
because your whole life at this point, you've just become more and more of a nervous wreck the older that you get, right? And you're teetering on another nervous breakdown. Your 16th one this month. There's only been 14 days so far.
Maybe I'm just craving human contact or something.
Yeah, sure. You've got 4 dead bodies in the back. Maybe you need to talk to someone.
Yeah, sure.
Get it off your chest.
Pretty lonely drive. Anyway,
you want to see if they have any soap. Okay.
True.
So you wind the window down.
You might get something out of it.
Jordan comes up to the window seat. I wander around the other side of the car and stand at the front.
You both get out.
I stand at the front, so you can't speed off without running me down. Okay?
Well, immediately I'm nervous, obviously. I mean, why would you be standing so I can't escape? Okay.
I'm just trying to, you don't know. I might be using the headlights to look for something.
Okay.
How's it going, mate?
Oh, hey, mate. Hey, why did you pull me over? Why'd you flash me?
Yeah, as you can see, we got a bit of an engine problem, mate. Wondering if you got any bush mechanics on you.
Yeah, mate, could you step out of the car and give us a hand?
Oh, I actually don't have any equipment. I'm actually really bad with that stuff.
Get out of the car!
I'm really... Oh, no. Don't,
and
please.
at this point we've got carrots representing guns, as it's the closest thing that we have, as we are in Australia where there is no guns, and we're also from the eastern suburbs in Sydney, and so we're health conscious.
Okay,
so we're
there's a
angry,
gun
murderous
in your face.
vegans.
Okay, well, I'm going to do what do you want me to do?
Get out of the car.
Okay, all right, I'm getting out. I'm getting out of the car. Yeah.
Get out.
What do you want me to do?
Pull your pants down. Pull them down.
Oh, God.
He's actually pulling his pants down.
Good, that's it,
Stop
mate.
it. Just
that's
stop.
it.
Just-
That's it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
Please.
Oh, Tomo, looks like you got yourself a pair of wedding pants.
What do you want from me?
We want the pants, mate, and a couple of other things, yeah. That's the second demand. Get over here.
Get out of the car.
Okay, so he's doing a little... He's shaking with nervousness or doing a very weak chicken dance. He's doing both. He's doing both the chicken dance and scared.
Yeah, I'm pretty scared. What do you guys
I didn't
want?
ask you to do the chicken dance, but I like it. I didn't say stop.
Good, what else?
Keep going, you bastard.
What else do you like?
We want you to just take those pants off. Now, Tom, put on the pants.
don't know.
You heard me. That's right. This is a double serial killer murder.
John's pointing the carrot at me now.
Oh no.
How about you get in the car?
Okay, now at this point,
Yeah, I'll get in the car. Yeah, that's a good idea. Get out of the car.
this is
Jordan's walking around the
Drive
room.
away, shooting my carrot into the air. Yeah, sorry, it makes laser sound effects. This is a carrot of the future, and it's got a little face on it because it's genetically modified. Being, I didn't want to be a weapon. I wanted to be a smoothie.
Well, there you go, Robbie. I hope that helps you in the future if that ever happens to you.
That's a very futuristic tale.
what happens to Tom in that
Genetically
story?
modified lasers. I think Tom just puts your pants on, and you guys just
Yeah, we just trade
confused.
pants.
You've got to
He gives me soap.
find out that he's quite conversational, really. But
Yeah,
he's
become
not a
best
bad guy.
friends.
He's just got bad influences.
We
Okay.
just hitchhike for the next car. Oh, we just take our car. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, Robbie. Big news has happened in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us what has happened?
Well, the very public service announcement apparently went well, and a certain person has commented on the last podcast offering to go on a date with me.
Because the very public service announcement was, and we needed to emphasize the very, we saw a woman on the billboard of pictures on the FBI dashboard that we thought looked lovely. We found out that she listened to the pod, and so we thought, you know what? Much like when you first learn about your friends coming out of the closet and you find out that one of them's gay and the other one's gay, you're like, hey, you're gay, why don't you make out? That's pretty much what we did to Robbie and this girl, and it worked.
So this girl, what's her name, by the way?
Well, we'll just bleep it out anyway.
Why would we bleep it out? She's a public figure, right?
Okay. I think it's Hannah.
Hannah, just for easy's sake, right?
Okay.
Hannah.
She
Probably
also
related
is
to
a FBI
Hannah
host.
Montana. But very odd that they keep naming all their kids Hannah, but, you know, you're not to judge this kind of thing, but, you know, weird family, Robbie.
You'll get to know that well, Robbie, hopefully. All right, Robbie's not
God,
looking
I
happy
hope
that we're
this
talking about this. So
He's looking very nervous.
don't want to ruin the date before it begins. All right, so
I kind of do, but keep going.
Hannah, before you get too involved with Robbie, we think you need to know something.
And before you know what that is, that's just a little sizzle for the moment. We're just informing Hannah that Robbie is obviously nervous, not particularly versed in dating as much as he is picking up chicks. He's a golden dragon, not a golden man, as you'll find out soon. He's not really a dynamo guy. So Tom and I
we
are
can
going
get to the
talk
pickup
to
stage, but the date stage is where he needs to really master his abilities now.
completely new territory, which is why we have decided, both Tom and I, that we don't have access to the headpieces that you see in comical 80s movies, but we do have microphones so we can record down for Robbie in the future. This is what will be the perfect date. You need, A, to go out, rent yourself a tuxedo if you can't fit into the one that you brought to year 12, and you are going to bring a tux to date Hannah with. That's
Two.
first step.
Okay.
B, you need to pick the most expensive restaurant you possibly can find. We'll help out. We'll chip in. Don't worry.
But you'll be paying the most of that, and you have the
The
least
vast
money out of
bulk.
us because you have the least stable job. You really picked a great one, Hannah. And what were the other bits that we had involved? Well, yeah. Also, you must. This is an absolute must. For God's sakes, bathe yourself in cologne, Robbie.
Drench yourself.
Bathe. That is.
You
it.
need to. You can hardly breathe. You're so covered in cologne. You have a tux on, and you're going to be going to Aria Hotel next week. If Hannah's available, contact Hannah. We'll see.
And we want you to do this right now if you can on Facebook. Just type under Hannah, who wrote very selflessly, okay, I'll go on a date with Robbie for the pod.
For the good of the pod.
So it's really just like in the war when you thought about the Queen so you could pop out babies so they could go and die. It's the same act of there's something bigger in the world than me, damn it. I've got to start thinking about others and thinking about the fact that we have to turn this golden dragon into that little Oscars man on the front of
The golden
on the
man.
top. Yeah. Constantly standing there while everybody's picking him up as he silently says with his stoic eyes, I can't breathe.
Enclosed in this golden coffin.
Case of terror. So that's what you have to do. And so what we want you to comment on the bottom of this comment is, sure, Ariana's Thursday at 7:30.
It's Aria, right? Aria.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of Ariana Grande. I stopped thinking about it because she's really hot. She permeates in your mind the whole time. And you're like, I wouldn't date you, but my God, are you real? Are you real? For serious?
All right, so Robbie, just comment under it if you can.
Isn't Aria like it's always booked out? It's really popular.
Well, let's see.
No, but this is what we want you to do as well,
get.
because we don't even know if you can get this, but we want you to automatically seem like you're a big shot, because Robbie, you don't know this about the dating world, but you have to lie at least 30%. It's a lot like a resume. You just make up a bunch of jobs and interesting facts about yourself that aren't there.
The first date is just balancing that, like, I'm really awesome, but I'm not telling you that I'm that awesome.
A little bit of mystery.
A little bit of mystery, yeah. Leave something for the imagination.
Yeah, all right.
So if you say Arias and then she says, isn't it booked out? You say, no, it's all right. I know the guys.
So just try and yeah,
It
perfect.
could be the busboy, it could be the manager, but she's probably going to think big, as is human. You want to think that you're marrying up, not down, in the scale of humanity. So she'll probably be thinking manager.
Oh, wow.
Oh. So what do you want me to write?
So be cool. Just be like, cool, sweet. Let's meet up next Thursday. How about Aria Hotel? I know a guy. Booked out?
Aria
I know
Hotel
a guy.
in capitals.
You might be thinking it's booked out for months. I know someone.
Let's meet.
DW, I know someone.
DW,
wink face.
Let's meet up next. Why Thursday?
What do you say with a what do you as one word?
Oh, I can't do next Thursday.
All right, well, whatever day you want. What time suits you, Hannah?
Oh, okay. What time suit? Let's meet up. What time suits you? Arias, I know a guy.
Arias, I know a guy. 7:30 Thursday. If not, fine, because I know a guy.
Yeah, you have to say that you know the guy twice, just so she knows how hooked up you are.
Okay.
Trust me, it will work.
Okay.
That's great. Very good start to a relationship. A solid foundation of trust is to just lie straight out of your ass and big note yourself.
And speaking of ass, Robbie, we have a confession to make to Hannah before we do anything to get too down the rabbit hole. She needs to know something.
Because the first date, this won't be an issue. Second date, probably not. Third date, you have to be pretty frigid and Christian not for this to be an issue.
So, Robbie, would you like to let Hannah know a little secret?
And the rest of the pod
What's
listeners,
the secret
thousands
again?
of people listening
ass,
to
mate.
your freak, hideous problem.
All right, Robbie's pulling his pants down.
So
to
he's
give you a hint.
not telling us,
Okay.
he's showing
Let me-
us. He's obviously been to a business seminar on how to woo potential clients.
Yeah, you're doing a pitch. Why don't I just...
Because he's trying to face on his ass. He has two asses. We asked the front
He's got two
counter of
faces.
this Gecko's hostel that we're staying at for a permanent market saying, oh, we just need to label our backpacks. We need to put our names on them. They've washed off in the torrential rain of the desert.
Stop pulling your butt cheeks apart. I can see your anus.
What do you call your bum friend? What do you call your bum chum, Robbie?
Gregory.
Gregory, your bum chum.
You've got so what you really need to know, Hannah, is you're marrying two men. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
And one of them is a total arse, not including the arse. It's Robbie.
Okay. All right. Is that good enough?
Yeah, I think we're still friends.
We'll be posting a photo of that on the Instagram, so follow Friendlyjordies Instagram which is at Friendlyjordies. All right.
That was much like the show that you hate a lot, though, Robbie. I'm surprised that you can draw so legibly on your own butt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was quite impressive. It was good. Okay, so now one of the other reasons we left ULURU so quickly was because we were almost chased out of ULURU by the rangers and the park management because of a little mishap that happened yesterday.
You guys were chased out. We were being law-abiding tourists walking around ULURU, where you suddenly realise that when they say it takes 2.5 hours to walk around, you think, yeah, well, that's what, like going to the gym, messing around on YouTube for a while, thinking, should I get a sandwich? And then going, oh, no time, it's been 2.5 hours, I believe. When you're walking around a rock for 2.5 hours, you realise, yeah, okay, this has to be the biggest rock in the world, which Robbie, right up until now, was saying, nah, surely it's not the biggest rock in the world. That is common knowledge. Everyone knows that.
So while they were pleasantly walking around the rock, I was meanwhile dealing with the bureaucracy that is the Uluru National Park, because we were stung, if there isn't a better word, by the park ranger for filming in the park, which is a separate project, which we're just killing two birds with one stone with this trip, doing the pod plus other things that I do separately.
And also admitting to guilt on a very public sphere. Yeah. You are saying that you were flying a drone in a National Heritage Park, which is the equivalent legally of flying a helicopter through something that is World Heritage listed without a permit. That's what they were doing. And then when the Rangers came along to these 9 men that have incredibly expensive camera gear and really clean Isuzu cars that they're taking photos of and still images, while the guy, one of the crew says to them, like, yeah, just get the Isuzu next to the World Monument. While you're saying that, the Ranger pulls up and says to you guys, what are you doing? And then you turn around, all of you in unison, we're students!
To be fair, we weren't flying any drone over Uluru or anything close to that. It was just a few Ks away, if anything. Like, we were being as respectful as we could. We didn't know the yellow lines meant it was a sacred site. I swear to God we didn't know that.
But when you found out, you didn't care either.
Yeah, we were desperately trying to dump all the footage we could before we got to the media officer, in case they were going to delete all our footage and fine us tens of thousands of dollars. But anyway, it's all fine in the end. But
a lot of smooth talk they got out of there. And the smooth talk was, I didn't know. I didn't know that you had to get a permit. They did know.
We didn't know. Oh.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And we're not going to edit that out.
You better edit that out. Okay, so...
Do what your heart tells you, Robbie.
So, the only downside is I am now full of bad spirits.
Clearly, you've got bad juju on you. I mean, every nincompoop knows that when there's a yellow line between the road and the monument, you can't take pictures there. That's sacred.
You should have known that.
It's made out of acrylic paint. What are you Philistine? You may as well have just been one of those Tasmanians that genocided the Aboriginals, you horrible man.
Just as bad. Screw that, man. There's photos of Uluru everywhere. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
He's very passionate about defending his wanton acts of cultural disgrace. And fair enough.
Yeah. All right, so what's the...
So, we're going to cleanse you of your spiritual badness. Jordan, did you get that, the texter, or...
Oh, I handed it back.
Yeah, we gave it. Damn it. Do you want me to run out and grab it?
Yeah, you can do that. And in the meantime, I'll explain to you, Tom, what you have to do as part of this cultural cleansing that Robbie and I fully, obviously have, seeing as I'm of Croatian and Scottish immigrant heritage, not even from the First Fleet, way after that.
And
I don't even think Scottish people were allowed in. Even that was too ethnic for a very long time.
And Robbie's a New Zealand English Nord.
Clearly... questionably even a human being, definitely from Age of Mythology, so he's a being, but where's the human so far is the question that we'll deal with in another time, because at the moment we are in the midst of a demon.
Right.
We've already had one cleansing so far, but I'm pretty sure that was to get out all of the evil juju in me. But now you've got heaps of it in you.
I know.
And so what we're going to do is to cleanse you of this is, to the best of our cultural knowledge, what our white man version of getting rid of all of these magical spirits, we're going to give you the most white cleansing ever of your soul, which means, Robbie, you are going to dance around drunk to the Katy Perry song. Which one was it, Robbie? I forget. Hot and Cold. And you're gonna sing it.
Okay.
Okay. And while you're drunk, Robbie's going to be sitting there going, he's smashed. Should I draw something on his face? And I'll say, yeah, man, do it. And you're going to draw little eyes on your eyelids so the spirits can't enter your body while you're sleeping because it looks like you're awake. And then you also have to flash your shirt going, woo! When I say, take off your shirt, Tom. And you braille it above your head going, woo! Singing, harden your coat. Very messy radio.
Begin the ceremony.
A lot like a lot of kids' rooms that are messy. Still interesting.
All right.
Yeah. So hold the mic.
I think you hold. Do you hold the mic? Because I'm gonna draw
Are you drawing on my eyes?
on your face somehow. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but on your eyelids, the spirits. This is not. We need the spirits out of this room for the good of everybody that's in this dorm.
Yeah.
All right. Because you're hot and you're
He's so drunk, he's wasted. What's going on? You can't handle your alcohol at all, can you, Tom?
I'm gonna have to draw on his eyes to get rid of this spirit.
That's definitely what you're going to have to do. All right, come over, Tom. You need to close for a second. Keep singing. Keep singing. Let's go one on. Let's go to the next one now. That's one down. Down. He knows the whole song. Well done. Take your shirt off, Tom. Take your shirt off. Close your eyes.
Oh my God! Jordan just knelt down and put his tongue in Tom's belly button.
Just suck it out. Just suck out the rest of the evil spirits like a snake bite. Like a snake bite. Say thanks. Say thanks to me.
What? That's really gross, man. I haven't bathed in days.
The world's most filthy biological cereal, lint in a belly button.
Oh, fuck it. Man, that's gross.
What's the next thing? What is the next segment?
Oh,
You know what? My tongue doesn't feel that bad, though. I've got to say, it was refreshing, oddly.
Really? Okay, now we're going to be going on to Goosebumps, Robbie.
Oh, okay.
And we're still reading from The Adventures of Dr. Eek, but we did not release the previous pod because we haven't been home yet to do it, so I guess it's up to us to decide what we're going to choose next. So anybody who's written in that week beforehand, sucked in.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's true, actually. Remember, we didn't listen to it either, so we don't actually know what's going on. Remember, we were all
No,
very
just give us the
preoccupied.
options and we'll see what sounds grouse.
All right. If you go back and check on Sam, run to page 81. If you think someone else might be in trouble, hurry to page 99. Which one do you like?
Didn't even listen to that. I'm really bored of this book. I think
So did I.
19. No, the
Lord.
second one.
Screw Sam, let's go page 99.
99. All right. We're just
We're all in agreement. That's very
Okay.
rare.
Yes. Okay. Sam's all right, you decide. And besides, that cry definitely came from somewhere in front of you. Help, please, the voice calls out desperately. It seems to be coming from a room just a few feet ahead. You dash forward and pull open a lab door. There's nothing inside except an empty laboratory. A big blob of some kind of green stuff sits on the counter. Wrong room, you say to yourself. You continue down the hall. You try another door. Nope, just a broom closet. Damn it. The next door on the left has to be it. It's already partly open. You give it a push and gasp. Next page. Right away, you know you're in an operating room. Tiled walls, metal cabinets, steel sink, heart monitors. Cabinets full of rubber gloves, surgical lights above a stainless steel operating table, lumpy objects under a stained hospital sheet. Wait a minute. Lumpy objects under a stained hospital sheet?
What's with these short pages?
And how the other one was mid-sentence, even though the previous page only had half a text's worth of page. There was a very lot of empty amount, and it still went over to the next page where it finished the sentence.
You're afraid to look under the sheet, and afraid not to. What is that lumpy object? Is that what was crying out for help? You peer closer and notice a kid's sneaker poking out from under the sheet. You feel so lightheaded, you think you'd better lie down, but where? No way are you going to lie down in the operating room. Help, a weak voice says. Please, Help me. You swallow hard. Your heart pounds. The room begins to spin. Do you dare look under that sheet?
That is a great suspense.
Yeah, I was actually pretty good that one. I reckon look under the sheet.
If you look under the sheet, turn to page 22. If you think you'd better lie down first, turn to page 40.
How boring would that response be? And I bet you they all want to lie down.
We all know. Now, we're setting a world record right here on the pod. And if not, if it's a world record, then we'll try again. We'll just keep doing it until we get it, because we have a do or die attitude here on the pod. And by die, it's just a really weak word for, I'm not going to do that anymore. For now, though, we're kind of interested in this. This is going to be the quickest segment in the history of podcasts where we ask Tom, do you like tomatoes?
Yeah.
Next segment.
We did it. I think we did it.
Yeah,
did you take out the timer? You were supposed to do that.
Well, I can see I'll look at the computer in a bit. I can't see right now.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, at least we've got a time. At least we have evidence
we've
of
got
this, so we can take it to the Guinness Book of Records and
fine.
say, world's tallest man, move over. There's a way less interesting world record that's been broken. Get out.
All right, let's quickly talk about now, speaking of tomatoes, Jordan's diet. Jordan, this is a new thing. We've been travelling for days here, and it seems as though Jordan should have fainted more than once. Jordan, what have you been eating for the last few days?
I call it the fruit and nut diet, primarily because that's all that's in the diet. Someone's entered the hostel that we're staying in. It is our dear friend Mason. And you can come over and say hi if you want. We were hoping that we wouldn't disturb you, but we've been making him stay outside and just drink by himself in Alice Springs.
Mason, we mentioned earlier, is our friend that is obsessed with talking about macabre tales of death on the Stuart Highway.
And when Robbie was driving, which was the closest that we were to death, where the car almost span out of control, he was the one that said, mate, can you slow down a bit? The only one with the sense and sensibility to do anything.
We were all
about
too
it.
scared to say anything, and then as soon as Mason was like, look, if we just went an inch further onto those pebbles, we'd all be dead. And then that encouraged everyone to make Robbie pull over and stop driving.
So there's been an uneasy tension and rivalry between the two since then of who's going to get the wheel. And so it's a really distant sequel to Freddy versus Jason, Robbie versus Mason.
So what's your diet, Jordan?
It's fruit and nut. That's it. It's the chocolate bar minus the chocolate. The only damn thing that the reason why any old person would eat it, and the reason why they eat the fruit and nut is because they're just going, I've just got to die. Like, this is too long. So it is incredibly boring, but the amount of energy that you get, I've got to tell you. You know the term "through the roof"?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
So people might know of the paleo diet. Robbie, do you want to explain what that is?
I think it's just the caveman diet. It's just what the cavemen people ate.
So Jordan's diet is a little bit more extreme than
explaining
that.
the paleo diet is just replacing the word paleo with caveman,
Okay,
and
so-
it did clarify a lot in my mind.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not an expert, but I think it's just nuts, fruit, kind of meat, whatever your traditional caveman could have found in the plains.
Yeah, so Jordan does that minus everything besides fruit and nuts, basically.
And KFC. I'm sorry. It's too awesome every time you look at it. And is when Robbie asked me, but why, Jordan? Why? And then I just said, because it's nasty. That's why.
And there's nothing... Yeah, you can't not go to Alice Springs and not have KFC, can you?
No. What else is there to do here?
It's a landmark.
That and stay at a hostel that's got a gecko on the front of it winking at you going, cheap accommodation. Those are the other two things to do around here. What we're doing as a result of this is because these two have been on my case the whole time saying, that can't be healthy for you. There's just no way that things that are completely healthy and any nutritionist will tell you are the best possible things that you could be putting into your body are bad.
Not in those volumes and like solely that.
But what are you basing that on? This is what I want to know.
Something that I heard about a handful of almonds is all you need for the day. That's what I heard somewhere. And so that knowledge pretty much leads me to thinking that eating almonds constantly throughout the day is just overloading you in some way nutritionally.
Well, Tom,
Yes.
Can you add any credibility to that at all? Because that was piss weak.
Well,
So weak.
I feel-
Somewhere, somehow, I heard that you have to eat less nuts, maybe.
What do nuts have in them? Is there protein in nuts?
Yep.
Okay, so that is your protein source.
Well, there's protein in everything, Tom. Did you know that broccoli is 14% protein? Bet you the beef industry didn't tell you that.
No, I didn't
In
know
their
that.
Eat Lamb ads. That's right, it's all a ruse. The beef industry's in it with the lamb that's a cahoots, switching around their advertising revenue to one another just to confuse you.
Yeah, thanks, Alex Jones. Anything else to add to that, Robbie?
Don't you need the carbs for your body to function as well? You know, just the energy it needs to.
Yeah, but I'd assume that nuts are in carbohydrates because when I think of carbohydrates, I think of things that are either crunchy or have the Italian soundtrack to the background of them every time you're eating them, so such as sucking up spaghetti and you going ding, 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 ding. So I'm missing vitamin ding, 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 out of my
That sounds as piss weak as my description as to why you shouldn't be having them all day.
Mason,
really, really good point.
Mason can be the judge. I mean, Mason, what do you reckon?
I agree.
With who?
All of you.
Oh, come on, man.
That is his classic Mason response.
Yeah. It's just too bubbly.
Never wanted to rock the boat unless the boat needs to be rocked in the other direction when it's getting spun out of control and really almost kill us. What the hell were you thinking, Robbie? You know what his response was when he did that and almost killed us on the highway speeding at 140 kilometres an hour? His first thing was, "Oh, sorry guys, I was just not looking at the road." It was his first answer while he's speeding at like abnormal speeds.
Around a corner. Yeah.
Around a corner. What the hell is wrong with you? And then after that, his thing to console us was, "Yeah, but guys, I was going over the speed limit. So you got to give me some.
Yeah.
You got to
He
give me
goes-
some cred."
Yeah, he thought it'd be cool to say, "Oh, yeah, but I was gunning it though." Like that's pretty cool though, right?
That's not cool. I was just sort of like, I just wanted to get to our destination, you know, and on the flats it was all right, you know, I was going pretty fast on the flat. But yeah, around that corner, that was silly to be going that fast and I should have slowed down a bit more. That's fair enough.
Well, you freaked Mason out so much that out of the 40 hours we've driven, he's probably driven about 36 of those hours.
He's an absolute gem for
It's
it and he
amazing.
drives very well and, you know, we love him.
All right, so our diets, though, I don't think can be argued to be better than Jordan. Oh, would you say our diets are better than Jordan's?
I think we're equally in the wrong direction. You know, I think there's a happy medium to be
This
found
is
in both of ours.
just horrendous nutritional science.
Don't you reckon though? Like no, I think so.
Not in the
To give you an
slightest.
example of about 70% of Robbie's
Just
diet
look
is.
at him. He just looks like when the Beatles went crazy and he's got a Beatles t-shirt on. And he's telling you about nutritional facts.
Almost
He doesn't have any sources at all.
Almost every night of the week, Robbie will walk into my room with a large spoon that's got half Nutella, half peanut butter on it. And
It
just
says every single
offer
night,
it.
"You've got to try this. Have you ever had it before?" This has been going on for months.
It is admittedly delicious. Robbie has come across something amazing, but it isn't at all good for you. Like, it is dreadful for you.
And like in the ad where it says 40% less fat than peanut butter, he's just bloody thrown that straight out of the window by making the only salvageable fact about Nutella completely just inadmissible now.
Just adding it on. Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We both disagree with each other's diets. Well, my diet as well. Everyone knows I just eat a lot of pizza and a lot of anything bad, I eat it. So
Yes.
Yeah, me and Monty aren't saying our diets are good.
As he would be described if he was a weatherman, and they're cutting over to him live, just Carl in the morning saying, "And now we're going to local fat man Tom to give you the rest of the weather." And he would be dressed comically as a sumo wrestler every day that he goes to work.
So what we're going to do is we're going to be swapping our diets for a week. So as of next week, Robbie and I will be eating nothing but nuts and fruit for an entire week, and one day of that week we're going to eat nothing as our fast day because cavemen wouldn't have always been able to get access to food, so our stomachs aren't designed to eat every day.
That's exactly right. It's always the same. You're always just saying my point of view without anything else except for a sarcastic tonality. And you think that's enough to dismiss it.
know.
And it is. That's the worst part. It is. But we'll see who's laughing at the end of this week. You guys, because you'll be feeling super healthy, super active, ready to take on every day and squeeze out every last piece of juice out of it, while I'll be while I'll be sitting there doing exactly what you guys are, and you'll be ringing me up going, hey, would you like to go on a jog along the ocean and see if there's any whales out there? And then I'll be saying, no thanks, I'm watching a David Attenborough documentary about whales at the moment, so why bother?
So yeah, we'll see how we're feeling at the end of the week.
And also, you guys, I know that you didn't agree to this, so I'm going to say it now on the pod. It's official. Without your guys' consent, we'll also be swapping fitness routines, which means that you'll be doing the P90X Cardio X workout.
Extreme 90 minutes of total absorption into the body, featuring the amazing part of muscle confusion.
That's his big secret,
Muscle
guys.
confusion.
You've got to make your muscles scratch their heads, you know, make them do a bit of that.
And you'll be taking on our physical routine of nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Might play touch footy once a week. Might call in the last minute and say, "Oh, I'm pretty busy at work, guys. I'm not going to be doing it." And I'll be definitely taking option 2.
Yeah, maybe a walk or so too. All right, I guess we can do that, but we don't have a qualm with your physical routine. We only have a qualm with your diet. So I don't get why.
God,
we
it's
swap it.
like you guys are trapped in the 80s when it comes to that. And when I look at it, really, look at your facial hair. You are just two men. Did this happen? Have I just come across 2 friends that are time travelers? Do I not have any bloody real friends? And you're just, at this point, when I say this to you, you're going to go, me.
We don't exist, Jordan.
Because if that would happen, then it should have happened by now. It didn't happen. They're not trapped in the 80s, but seriously, shave your facial
Yeah,
hair.
we're past yous. I was you in the 80s and Robbie was you in the Nordic era.
That's right.
My God, Robbie. Why are you so far behind the times? That's thousands of years behind. And I'm just a real fan of Roman culture, and you are obviously a real fan of Celtic culture.
Yeah, I am.
All right, now, Robbie, what season is it?
Spring. We heard about this. I don't know what's happening here. I'm being sprung with a segment again. So yeah.
That's right.
Surprise!
Robbie's
This
getting
happens every
sprung.
single episode. We always just throw something onto Robbie to see how his brain deals with the overarching shivers and nervousness that he feels in his system constantly for God knows why. And then on top of that, we just launch something straight into his face and see what happens to that really jitterous, nervous energy that's always ready to unleash.
Okay, so,
really
Robbie,
is.
as we know, the 2 things you hate more than anything else in this world are, 1, reading Goosebumps that no one listens to. Can you confirm that?
No, I'm all right with it now, but I used
Confirmed. Number 2.
And I've got to say, in all credit to Robbie, this is great. Seeing that a lot of our hipster friends that have started their own podcasts in a cheap myrrh of ours, and we won't be showing them or giving them any credit at all because they do actually suck. They're terrible. Like, I don't care if I'm not friends with them anymore either. They're crap people.
I don't know who you're talking
They
about.
have...
Go
I
ahead.
think you do, Tom. The thing is that Robbie, sitting there reading what is pirated material, he really is a human Napster. He's just reading Goosebumps I'm imagining a different voice to what R.L. Stein is. That's his only take that could be even slightly different and creative. But he, reading a kid's book that's no longer aimed at us, has convinced at least 75 20-year-olds to sit around and listen to that as opposed to listening to a bunch of other of our hipster friends. We're quadrupling them in ratings of Robbie just reading a 10-year-old's book. When these are like the best ideas they can come up with in a week. You've got to feel good about that, Robbie. Your voice is better than them.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just your voice. That's amazing. Robbie's voice box is the equivalent of 8 of our friends because it'd be 2 of them talking back and forth to one of another.
Yeah.
There you go, Robbie. Does it feel good?
Yeah, it feels good.
All right.
Well, because you're just going to feel really shit at the moment. So that was just your little on the roller coaster. And get ready for the.
So, the other thing you seem to have hated this trip, which we are shocked about because we discussed this beforehand and we're really hoping you'd be involved in this. Do you know what's happening?
Yeah, I know what this is.
One of the greatest books ever written, the sci-fi masterpiece that is Dune. Mason, myself, and Jordan love it. Robbie puts headphones on and will listen to his...
I don't know, the Ramones or some claptrap, basically.
Ramones,
noise.
yeah.
Noise.
Claptrap. Well, we're listening to
the greatest science fiction literary masterpiece as discussed by Reddit. None other. I'm sure it's got other prizes, but I don't know any of them because I'm not of that generation. I don't care.
But yeah, it's always ranked number 1 on any sci-fi list, so look it up, guys. But you won't need to look it up if Robbie...
Well, technically you will because it will be on the internet, but look up Robbie's rendition of the Dune book as he reads out every single chapter right after he finishes Stay Out of the Basement, Goosebumps, which he has to complete first, and then we've got more homework for you, and it gets way harder. It's like jumping. It is literally like jumping because this is something that you would study in year 12, maybe even university. You are jumping from a year 4 book
you're
to the end of high school.
On the reading list, you're going from level 4 to level 25. What
you
do
have gone from level 7 in the orbit race. Yep, it really is.
Okay.
It's going to take you years, Robbie. This is a huge investment of your time against your will for no extra money, or we have a ultimatum for you.
There's
that
a back
you can
door.
choose. Yes.
There's a way out.
There is a way out of this.
Okay. Yeah, what is it?
What do you think it is first?
I've got to listen to it in the car.
No, it's way worse than that, actually. That would be great if you
The
did.
other thing that Robbie has hated this trip is one night we went out to do what we're doing in this trip, which is...
You know whenever you see any Pentium ad and then they have really soft but slightly intense piano going... And there's an American voice going, the world is changing. And then it'll have a picture of like all these people walking across a very busy pedestrian street in Tokyo, Japan. And then it'll just go faster. And then there'll be a truck going like, and then it'll just go than ever before. And then there'll be a picture of the sun and going down and then the stars coming out and going, doing a whole circle of the day cycle.
Yep.
This is the kind of footage that Tom does in his spare time to sustain himself.
Yep, so to do that, you need to go out in the middle of the night in the desert, which is incredibly cold for those that don't know.
And gets progressively colder over the night. And
For
you can
hours.
feel it. It is an oppressive cold. Because you kind of go out there at 7, not that bad. 8 o'clock, okay, it's getting a little bit chilly now. May as well put on a jumper. And then we'll just go out to the middle of the desert where we can't go back to the campsite. And wouldn't you know it, by 11 p.m. it's -2 degrees.
So, Robbie, tonight we're going to be going out we're going an hour and a half away from here and doing a time lapse all night. We'll probably have to sleep in the car. There's going to be 6 of us, so it's not going to be comfortable.
And the absolute worst part about doing this, because I came along as well, but when I sooked to Tom and said, can we go sit in the car? He said, no, you turn on the lights. He didn't let me do it. And then Robbie, his lifelong friend, just straight out favour for him when he said, can I use the key? He was like, sure, man. And gave it straight to him and then we went into the bloody car.
I just knew Robbie would be complaining about it all night. So I thought I should concede early. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the car because you ruined the shot, but...
Bullshit. Straight up bullshit. There's no way. Yeah. I spoke to one of the other guys and it didn't.
Don't need to confirm that with... All right. Anyway, tonight we're doing it again. Robbie, you can either come along again and stand in the cold for hours, or you can read Dune to the audience. What do you reckon?
And there also has to be an Instagram upload of you to prove that you were out in the desert, in your shirt, shivering, going, I thought this was supposed to be in the desert. And then it finishes.
Do I have to say now?
That's right.
Yes.
You've got right now to decide. And you have 5 seconds.
I have to I have to produce the other pod though for like if I go in the desert they won't.
Time's up.
It
What
looks
is it?
like-
What's your answer? Go. What's the first thing that comes in your mind? Is it June or you got to go out into the desert?
If you're going to produce the pod, it might have to be June.
I have to produce the pod.
So it looks like it might have to be June then.
Is it June?
Is it June, Robbie?
June.
June is reading the entire book of June. It is 20 hours. You have got that treat to look forward to, and he has to read it chapter by chapter. He's going to have to. This is going to be a lot of his Saturdays with his hopefully newfound girlfriend completely out the window. Nope, sorry, babe. I'm reading June.
Guys, you all
The
love
greatest science fiction book ever. That's right. I'm not a hipster, or like all hipsters, I'm secretly a nerd. Now,
And to
in
celebrate
celebrate of this, we have pyrotechnics in this hostel that cost us $15 a night. Don't know what it's called. Would give it a shout out if I would, because there's nobody else in here at the moment. We are going to fuck up this dorm for no reason whatsoever. We found a used lighter, and we're going to do that old 10-year-old thing and Tom is a professional 10-year-old, great with Nintendo 64 games, great with he's getting ready for it right now, and he's doing even that classic 10-year-old little trait of pretending to throw something and then smirking when he doesn't throw it. He is a great the prime candidate for doing this, because I was never able to do it, which is to throw a used lighter at the ground and for it to go slightly and everyone to go, oh, nice throw, man. So
Ready? 3.
he is throwing the lighter at the corner of this tiled floor in 3, 2, 1. And
God,
nothing
please.
happened, which concludes the end. Okay, well,
It broke it.
Yeah, it's a little bit. You can see the spring coming out in that real comical Inspector Gadget fashion where it goes, it looks like it could jump and solve some crimes if it was conscious. It's not, however, because it's the cheapest ladder you could possibly get at a gas station.
And maybe you can add some sound effects, Robbie, of that exploding or something to make it more exciting.
Okay.
But either way, that concludes episode
28.
of the pod. Robbie reading June, a book that he really doesn't want to read for hours and hours and hours of
I
his
do
life.
want to read it. Like, anyway. No, it's just that I fell asleep in the first car, playing of it. So then I didn't want to, I didn't want to miss out. So I want to read it fully. That's what I want to do.
Weak excuse, Robbie.
Oh, yeah, well, that's...
Weak excuse at all.
I've fallen asleep dozens of times.
I know, and I think you're stupid for continuing.
All right, whatever. Enjoy it. See you later.
Bye-bye, everybody. Hope you have a really nice time as we are at Alice Springs, which is the place where we chose to come up with this segment. Robbie gets sprung. Might not continue it next week. Probably won't. See ya.